10A. And I have someone who wants to speak on this agenda item. Morgan June, are you here? Would you like to speak before the presentation or after? And,
I'm so sorry for the confusion in the elevator right now.
Okay.
I just did present something really quickly.
That's great. Please come on up and introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody.
You have up to 5 minutes.
Thank you to those of you who came from just watching. I'm so sorry for the confusion again, I'm not sure. I'm Morgan, I'm from the American Heart Association, and it is truly an honor this evening to announce that Creighton School District has been recognized as a Fit Friendly Work Site in Phoenix. For those of you not familiar with the Fit Friendly Work Site Recognition Program, it is an award given by the American Heart Association's My Heart, My Life initiative. It is intended to be a catalyst for positive change in the workplace across America and right here in Arizona. It recognizes work sites for making the health and wellness of their employees a priority. Your district has been recognized at the gold level, which means that you offer all employees physical activity support at the work site. You have increased the number of healthy eating options available to you at the work site. You promote a wellness culture at the work site. And you embrace at least 9 criteria as outlined by the American Heart Association in the areas of physical activity, nutrition, and culture. As a fit-friendly worksite, you are corporate trailblazers who have adopted the spirit of initiative and have the vision of trying to improve the health and wellness of employees at the worksite. I would like to thank the 2012-2013 Staff Wellness and Training Team for championing your district's application process. Those people are Dorothy Mullen at Monte Vista, and excuse me if I say any of these names wrong, TJ Rains at Papago, Kristen Clyde at Monte Vista, Jessica Dormandy at Excellencia, Suzanne Johnson at Kennedy, Kurt Collins at Transportation, Rosalinda Varvel at the district office, Vicki Sims at Loma Linda, Helena LeBron at Creighton, Agui Herrera at Baltimore Prep, Brittany Gable at Mackin, and Mark Otsuki at Gateway. So thank you so much. Here's your clap. Everybody. Yay! Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Thank you. What a great way to kick off this presentation. Thanks to all of our teachers and staff members whose names are read and helped make that possible. And thanks to the American Heart Association. Ms. Doherty.
Good evening, Mr. Jewett, members of the board, and cabinet. I'm Linda Doherty. I'm the Director of Food Services, and tonight I'm going to be going over the student wellness policy, and also Judy Lewis, who's our district lead nurse, and Eric Dupin are going to be helping with their parts of the student wellness program. Tonight we want to review with you the student wellness policy. We're going to break this down and explain to you what we do every day, what services we provide, and what our next steps are going to be. The policy, it states that the district is committed to provide school environments that protect and promote children's health, well-being, and the ability to learn. How will this be done? Well, the policy has these 6 steps in it. The first one, nutrition guidelines. All foods available during the day will have as a goal the promotion of student health. School meals shall adhere to the regulations established by the USDA for those meals. Nutrition education. The goal is to influence students' eating behaviors by providing age-appropriate education, education which reflects their culture, is integrated into health education or other core curricula, and provides opportunities to practice skills and for them to have fun. Physical activity. The goal is to provide opportunities for every student to develop knowledge and skills for specific activities, to maintain students' physical fitness, to ensure regular participation in physical activity, and to teach students the benefits of a physically active and healthy lifestyle. Other school-based activity. The goal here is to create a total school environment that is conducive to healthy eating and physical activity. Evaluation. The goal will be to regularly evaluate the effectiveness of this policy in promoting healthy eating and making changes as appropriate to increase its effectiveness. Parent, community, and staff involvement. A primary goal will be to involve representatives from these groups in the regular review of the policy. The policy also states that an annual report shall be made to the board on the district's compliance with the law and policies related to student wellness. This may include, but not be limited to, an evaluation of the food service program, recommendations for policy and program revisions, a review of all the foods and beverages sold for compliance with established nutrition guidelines, an assessment of the school environment regarding school wellness issues, a listing of activities and programs that promote nutrition and physical activity, and finally providing feedback received from staff, community, students, and parents. The first will attack the nutrition guidelines under food service operations. The Healthy Hunger-Free Kids Act of 2010 required a significant revision of the school lunch and school breakfast program guidelines. These guidelines began being phased in last year, 2012, with changes to the school lunch meal patterns. School breakfast changes started being phased in this year. Additional changes are coming next year, and for the next couple of years there'll be more changes. A list of acceptable foods for use during the day was developed several years ago to comply with the Arizona Nutrition Standards. This also provided information for non-food rewards. The district has been awarded funding through a grant for the USDA Fresh Fruit and Vegetable Program. Through this funding, we're able to provide a fruit or vegetable snack to our students 3 days a week. This introduces students to fruits or vegetables they may not see at home, and it also gives them the idea of having a healthy snack during the day. This year, a party platter was developed that meets the Arizona Nutrition Guidelines as a healthy option for celebrations. And finally, on after-school programs, we provide healthy snacks. The programs such as the Phoenix Parks and Recs and the 21st Century Grant programs where the kids stay later during the day, we provide a healthy snack for that. On nutrition education, what are we, food services, doing on our part to provide nutrition education? First, on our monthly menu messages, these are on our menus each month that go home with the students. And I don't know if you've seen the September menu yet, if it's in your board packets, but there is, our menu message this month is on whole grains and incorporating whole grains into your daily diet. Hilda, did they get that yet? They got it? Okay. We also put fun facts in the cafeteria. These are just little cards that go on our serving lines that they're real short, they're colorful, and they basically tell what kind of nutrients are in that particular item. Like today we had corn on the menu and we had carrots on the menu and whatever the fruit was. And so the cards were up there with a picture of the corn or carrots and saying what was in that. Outside agencies are used many times to provide education in the classroom. Sometimes we get a call for education in the classroom and we just can't do it because of time constraints or other commitments. So we will refer them to an outside agency. And one of our favorite ones that we use is in the Office of Nutrition and Public or Physical Activity in the Maricopa County Department of Public Health. They have a terrific staff that just loves to come into the classrooms. And I know several of our teachers at schools in the district have used them for nutrition education. What do we do for parent and student involvement? Last winter and spring, we conducted a parent focus group, and at this meeting, we asked our parents 3 basic questions. What do you feed your child at home? What do you like about our menu? And what would you like to see changed? Then we had student focus groups at each one of the 9 sites. We asked the students the same 3 questions. What do you eat at home? What do you like about our menu? And what would you like to see changed? And from that input, we've added a new item already on our menu, and we'll probably be adding some more during the year. So that's it for food services. And next, Judy Lewis is going to review what is done with the district health services.
Can I ask, what was the new menu item you added?
The new menu item, it was a turkey sandwich. The kids said that they eat sandwiches a lot at home. And we're like, oh, okay, let's do a sandwich. So it's basically on goldfish bread. That's it's a whole wheat bread. That's the shape of like the goldfish, like the fishy crackers, only bigger. And it's whole wheat. And we use sliced turkey and a slice of cheese with it. And we package it in like a baggie and put a bag of fishy crackers in it too, and a little packet of mustard and mayonnaise. So it looks like the sandwich that Mom would fix and give to you to take to school. So the kids love them. We don't use them every week. We have it on the menu about every other week so that they'll get them often enough, but not too often that they'll get tired of them. And they really like them so far.
I had a quick question about the parties in the classrooms, because I know when a child has a birthday party that a lot of times the mom her dad brings in cake and cookies or something, cupcakes and soda. And is there a policy about that, or not
There is
really
a
yet?
policy. There is a
And do you have
policy.
vending machines on the campuses that, with the older students, that they can get soda? No? Okay.
Part of the list of foods that was developed a few years ago, when we, along with the bell-to-bell bill policy, restricting foods used during the school day, part of what we did was extremely limit what could be brought in to the classrooms during the school day. We were frequently known as the food cops or worse on that part of it. And it was hard to get the parents to not do that. It still happens sometimes. And out of that was how our celebration party platter was developed. And we promoted it some this spring. And this year when we did our school lunch applications that went home with all the students, a flyer went in with that. And it's a healthy cupcake. That's about 120 calories. We market it with juice, 100% juice, a small bottle of water or milk. And it's been well accepted so far already this school year. So that's a healthy option that we're trying to get parents to use that instead of like the cupcakes from the bakery. During the month of August, we were doing probably about 6 to 8, up to 10 a week. It's slowed down a little bit already for September, but we're hoping, you just never know when you start something new if it's going to go really gangbusters or what's going to happen. But yeah, it was real popular during the month of August. So it's kind of easy. You just make a call and we'll take care of it.
Can you share a recipe for a 120 calorie cupcake?
I can tell you where you get them.
Okay. Thanks.
Thank you.
Good evening. I admire your stamina. My name is Judy Lewis, and I'm the lead nurse. I am the nurse at Mackin School. I've been there, this is my 7th year. And I want to commend you for asking the questions and asking us to come talk about this, because I haven't been here to speak before, and I'm glad you're interested in the health services. I want to give you an idea of what it is that the nurses do and what our goals are. And our mission is really very broad. We want to keep the students and the staff healthy and safe at school so they can learn and so the staff can teach. If you're in pain, you don't learn very well. If you can't breathe, you don't learn very well. If you can't see, if you can't hear. So I think that although these are support services, they're very, very basic to our mission as a school district. Preventing unnecessary absences due to illness. An example of that might be asthma. We know that probably 1 out of every 5 to 6 children has asthma symptoms at some time in their life, and it's the largest cause of absence from school from any chronic disease. And I'll tell you a little bit more as I go on how we can help prevent those absences. Keeping students with acute illnesses at home so they don't get everybody else sick. The flu, kids with fevers. We often have parents who are very busy and working and the sole support of their family, and when their kids are sick with fevers, they give them a Tylenol and they send them to school, and those kids get everybody else sick, including the teachers. So I think that's a really important function of the nurse. Enabling students with chronic illnesses and disabilities to attend school. Right now we have 5 students who are on insulin. Last year we had a kindergartner on insulin. He's 1st grade now. If we didn't have health services in the school with highly trained people, that child would not be safe in school. That's potentially life-threatening illness. Children with disabilities like spina bifida, there isn't somebody to catheterize those children in school and really assess what's happening with their urinary function and their ability to get around the campus. They would not be able to be in school and learn. Another thing that we do is we connect students and families to needed services. As you all know, we have a very high need population in our school district. A lot of them are not connected to the services they need. A lot of them are experiencing illness and dysfunction of all sorts because they're not connected to a variety of services. Some of them are connected to services, but they're not getting the care that they need. So one of the things that we do is connect them and educate them about the care that they need, when to seek care, when it's appropriate to seek care. Another big function that we serve, and one of our goals, is to comply with the state and federal mandates and our district policies. I like to think of the nurses who provide our health services in schools as the guardians of wellness in the school. Everybody else is thinking about teaching and learning, and we're the ones who are 100% of the time we're thinking about health and wellness. And so, we make sure that we have almost 100% compliance with our immunization requirements. So, and that will prevent everybody else from getting sick. We make sure that we do the mandated hearing screenings and the vision screenings, and that kids have 504 plans, and that there's nursing services provided for special ed students. We make sure that, or we try to make sure that certain policies, that when it's too hot out, that people don't go outside, and that's a policy of the district, our heat policy. Well, we're the ones who are thinking about that. And then we advocate for the well-being of each child, and that kind of sounds like a cliche, but it's really true in that in providing health services to the child, we're dealing with each child individually. We're not dealing with big groups. We're dealing with them one-on-one during the most vulnerable times. We're providing real assistance to their parents. Over time, we get to know the families and the kids in a way that the other people in the school don't. It's a different aspect of the children that we get to know. And so I think that we are in a unique position to really advocate for the child. There's a lot of nurturing that goes on, there's a lot of trust, and we advocate for the children with the parents sometimes, and with the school sometimes. So I'm going to discuss a little bit about the services that we provide. First is clinical care of students and staff. We're basically a little community clinic in each school, staffed by a nurse. We do assessment and triage. Unlike in an emergency room or a doctor's office, we want to find out what is the underlying cause of their visit. Are they here because it's just a minor condition, or is it life-threatening? Are they in the nurse's office because they want to get out of class? Or because there's something really wrong? And if they do want to get out of class, why do they want to get out of class? Is it that it's too hard for them and they need certain numbers, they need to withdraw from that situation to function? And if so, they'll have 5 minutes of R&R in the nurse's office, get a little nurturing, and be ready to go back to class and learn. Are they fleeing class because they're being bullied and they don't want to be in class? So all of those things are part of the assessment and triage that we do. Can they go back to class? Do they need to go home? Do they need to go to an emergency room? That's all part of the assessment that we do. First aid and management of common symptoms and injuries. Is it contagious? That's the first thing we want to know. If there's a problem with the eye, is it pink eye? Is it allergy? Is it an abrasion of the cornea that they have to go to an emergency room? Those are all part of what we do in first aid. And then management of chronic illness and disability. Asthma. Is their asthma controlled? Do we have a written plan from their doctor? Do they really understand what asthma is like when it's controlled? Do they know that they shouldn't be using their inhaler 5 times a day, every day? Do they know what that means? Are they doing peak flow meter readings to know really how much inflammation they have in their lung? There's a lot of assessment that goes on in management, and then education of the parent and the student about the illness. And then management of medical emergencies. Should we call 911? If there's an allergic reaction, is it life-threatening? Can we give them Benadryl? Do we need to give them an EpiPen? Are they going to, is it really an emergency situation that needs immediate attention? If they're short of breath, is it life-threatening or not? So those are all parts of the ways that we, the things that we think about in managing medical emergencies. You may be interested, I'll just add that there's a new state law that allows us to have EpiPens at every school site. So not just for those children who bring them in and have a prescription for them, but we can actually carry that at the site, and we now have those. So now we have to train everybody how to use them. And then finally, we make appropriate referrals. Are we referring them back to class, home, a doctor, an ER? Is there an underlying depression? Do they need counseling? With our staff, it's kind of the same process that we follow. Can they stay in school? Are they so sick that they need to go home? Are they so sick that they need to go to an urgent care and ER? Is it a workers' comp case? Do they need to go to Concentra? So the nurse does all of those things. In terms of health education and advocacy, we don't really have the staff anymore to go into the classes very much. I understand that nurses used to do that in this district, but as there are constraints on our time, we do more one-on-one health education. Every visit of a child to a nurse's office is an opportunity to teach them what's going on in my body. Are they worried well? A lot of times kids get very anxious about what's going on inside them and they don't understand it. Maybe it's just normal. How to prevent illness? Are they getting enough rest? Are they getting exercise? Are they eating? For children and families, we talk to them about over-the-counter medications, appropriate use of medications, etc. Group health education still takes place sometimes in that we have to go into classrooms and educate them. Let's say there's a medical problem in the class. The student has a seizure and the parent thinks that it would be better if the other students understand what's going on. We go into the class and we educate the classroom about the seizure disorder. We are in charge of bloodborne pathogen training, making sure that the staff is aware of how to protect themselves, that they get offered a hepatitis B vaccination if it's appropriate. We do training on medication administration so that when the nurse is not in the school, other staff can administer medications. We talk to staff on an as-needed basis about contagious diseases and the concept of exposure. If somebody has MRSA, does that mean I'll get it? Do I need to be worried about that? A lot of times staff has a lot of fears about illness, and we can either help allay them or educate them about it. We do a lot of nurturing, a lot of case finding, troubleshooting, investigating, and informing. It's not just the days of putting Band-Aids on children. There's a lot more going on with children. It's estimated that about a third of what nurses do now in schools has to do with mental health issues and behavioral health issues. So we look at the impact of family problems. We make internal referrals to counselors or the SRO or to the parent liaison or to PT or speech. We talk to administrators and help them get a better understanding of what's going on with the child. And then I think I already mentioned the district wellness policies, the heat advisories, the air pollution advisories, the 24-hour rule about fevers. And then RTI is kind of a work in progress. I have been on the leadership RTI team in my school, but I think I'm the only nurse who's done that, and that's one of my goals, with the nurses being more involved with that. Mandated services, our students need to be immunized. We do the hearing screenings for all of the ages and grades that are mandated, and all special ed students. We do referrals, follow up with parents if there's a hearing issue. Same with the vision screening. We screen them, we refer them, we help them with low-cost referrals. Abuse and neglect, the nurses have traditionally been the coordinators for abuse and neglect reports and CPS reporting in the schools. There's a lot of education that needs to happen around that process with staff. 504 plans, it's the nurses generally who are the people who identify students who need 504 plans, and then usually are very involved in the process of creating that plan and implementing it. And then nurses participate in banking meetings and are involved in providing nursing services and giving other input at those meetings. And then I know there was a question about our partnerships and what other services we have in the schools and what referrals we use. So Reach Out Healthcare America is our dental van that provides provides dental service on site to students who have insurance. The Arizona Department of Health Services, the Dental Zero program is free, and it's for kids who don't have any insurance, and it does a lot of prevention. They're seen by a dentist. We can make referrals that way. The Children's Hospital Breathmobile, it's from the pulmonary department. Phoenix Children's Hospital, they have a van at Macon, and they're seen to get tremendous amount of education, and other schools in the district can refer. Southwest Behavioral Health does our in-school counseling and also will help us with other mental health issues and need for care as it arises. The Amblyopia Foundation is the foundation that helps us with our incredible superduper vision screening that we do. We were the first district that did this. It's a computerized video game. Kids love it, and it's actually much better at screening. The Ear Foundation Basics program has been doing our preschool screenings for us. The Phoenix Lions Breakfast Club pays for a lot of vision exams and glasses for kids, $25 for kids who don't have the means. And Phoenix Children's Hospital has always been involved with our district in various injury prevention programs, giving out car seats and other things. In the last year, I tried to develop more of a partnership with them to train the nurses, and so that we have more of an in to Phoenix Children's Hospital, because a lot of our children, especially with chronic illnesses and disabilities, go to Phoenix Children's Hospital. So it's often hard to get information from their doctors, not just at Phoenix Children's Hospital, but anywhere. So now Phoenix Children's Hospital has provided a lot of training, on-site training for the nurses, their diabetes nurse, their HIV clinic, the director of the Breathmobile, and we're hoping this year to increase that partnership. And then I've listed a bunch of referrals that we made that you can take a look at. Anything from urgent care to vision services to dental clinics, medical services project, and many, many social service and community referrals, housing, food, legal aid, domestic violence. We don't have social workers in our schools, and nurses do a lot of the social work, as do the parent liaisons and psychologists. So that's my presentation. I don't know if anybody has any questions.
I do, but go ahead.
You mentioned that you do referrals to CPS and that you need to do training with the teachers on that. You were saying that?
Well, often teachers don't know when they should report something, and they don't know how to do it. And so the nurses help with that process.
If the
As
teacher,
well as documenting abuse and neglect, and examining.
if the teacher was to find something, would she or he then go to you and then you make the report?
It depends.
Or do you allow the teacher to make the report?
Sometimes the teacher can make the report. We make sure that they have all the knowledge to be able to make the report. If it involves a physical assessment or taking photographs or something, we get involved. Sometimes the administrators make the reports.
Thank you for your presentation. It's really informative. Just a quick question about the Amblyopia Foundation vision screening. Is that the standard screening that we're giving to all students, or is that just
It's
a
what we
select
use at
screening?
our mass screenings. You know, we screen most of the kids in a school, and the nurses go to a school with a team, and we set up all these computers. We don't do it all the time when we screen in the office, simply because sometimes our offices aren't set up to do it. And in those cases, we use a light box.
So then in our mass screenings, those are the ones that are done annually for all grade levels?
It's not all grade levels.
Okay.
It's the mandated grade levels and all new students and all special education students.
So I just so happen to have a daughter who has 5 different vision disorders that weren't discovered until amblyopia is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And she's now in 4th grade, but we didn't discover it until 3rd grade. And the only way we discovered it was taking her to a developmental ophthalmologist, because none of those screenings at her school obviously caught it, because they're all acuity screenings. So through that process, I've discovered a lot of things that I didn't know. One of which is that 1 in 4 children have an undiagnosed vision disorder, which just coincidentally happens to be about the same percentage of our kids that don't read at grade level. So
It's
I'm just
undoubtedly a huge
curious
problem.
about, especially of those 68 little gems that we have in our district that aren't yet meeting the standards, if we have any record of their screening using this
I'm sure we
technology,
do.
and if not, if maybe that's a screener that we might want to do to be sure that we're ruling out any undiagnosed vision disorders, because no amount of reading intervention is going to support and improve reading outcomes for students who have vision disorders that aren't diagnosed. So I'm just hopeful that
It's
somebody...
a good, yeah, and with amblyopia, for example, it's better to get them before the age of 4. And my understanding is that the computerized test is more likely to catch amblyopia at any age. than just the light box screening. So you're right, I mean, that would be kind of the gold standard. Not all kids can do it. You know,
Just
they have to
hopeful
be
that if
able
we,
to
since
do
we
it.
have the technology, we're cutting edge about something, let's maybe open the scope of just, check the box, make sure that's not it.
Yeah.
Then we can go to diagnose other
Well, that's part of the
potential-
RTI
Yeah,
process, you know, the
exactly.
process that, I mean, those kids have all been processed through those groups, and they always make sure that, you know, they have the reading and hearing. And all special ed students need to have it every year, those results.
Also, to that point, first things first, in our region, Central Phoenix does fund that as a strategy. Eye and ear screening, so that's, I don't know what their contractor uses, but that is really great to hear to have those stories shared so that we know
Yeah.
the need
Well,
for that.
first things first funds the basic program that does our preschool screening.
Oh, good.
I don't know what technology they're using.
I should, but I don't remember. Well, I thank both of you for presenting. This is something that is actually in our policy as something that we're supposed to have an annual report on, and we
have one.
Oh, good. Then I won't stop you again.
Eric will be good.
Well, let me just say that I was never healthier than when I was at Mackin and Judy was the nurse, mentally as well as physically. We in Creighton School District really look at our student wellness policy and programming as something that affects not only the procedures and the nutrition activities that you've heard described, but they're really part of the ongoing curricular experience of our students. We first went to we look at our science curriculum for the most clear alignment. And so I'm just going to highlight a few of those areas for you. We also look at our PE curriculum as a tremendous opportunity for students to learn about the habits of body and mind that produce bodies. In our science curriculum, Strand 4 of Life Science within our Arizona Science Standards addresses the building understanding of the human body. Our science curriculum is built around units within several grade levels that allow students to develop an ongoing understanding of the body. In K2, they learn about anatomy and functions. In 5th and 6th grade, students learn about the systems of the body and how they work together. In our physical education program, we address many of the physical activity goals and school-based wellness policies as well. 6 units in kindergarten through 2nd grade are entitled Affect, Fitness, Lifetime Safety, and Procedures, Skills, and Social Development. Within the fitness units, students define fitness and demonstrate movement. In the Lifetime unit, students learn about sun safety, and that was actually a piece of learning that we were able to gain a lot of information about with the support of Phoenix Children's Hospital. In the Safety and Procedures unit, our students learn to follow directions and demonstrate the safe use of equipment. And in Skills unit, students demonstrate locomotor movements. The 3rd through 5th grade units, what did you say? 3rd through 5th grade units have the same titles. In the fitness unit, students identify and demonstrate different examples of moderate and vigorous physical activity. They have to be able to sustain those activities for greater than 50% of the class period in order to find their target heart rate. In the Lifetime unit, sun safety is also addressed. Safety and procedures, again, students follow directions. And in Skills unit, students demonstrate locomotor movements and activities. In our 6th through 8th grade PE curriculum, we have the units that are entitled Fitness for Life, Skills and Strategies, as well as Social and Behavior. In the Fitness for Life unit, again, that same idea about maintaining heart rate and activity for more than 50% of the class period is targeted. In Skills and Strategies, the students identify critical elements of a skill and employ other fundamental skills in order to successfully participate in a variety of physical activities, particularly sports. And in the Social and Behavioral unit, our students follow safety protocols. I believe all or most of you were on our board last year when we adopted our new Human Growth and Development curriculum, FLASH. This new curriculum that is going to be implemented this year will also support students in their understanding of short and long-term benefits of a healthy lifestyle. We also, within our schools, within our classrooms, we have additional programs that support the wellness of our students. We have some after-school programs within the district. We have a number of our schools are walk-to-school schools, so our students are able to walk to and from school with their families alone. Our SWAT program, which we all saw recognized this evening, promotes ongoing wellness for our staff members, and those are our curricular aligned devices.
And finally, our next steps on this is that just last week we met with a representative from Alliance for a Healthier Generation. And what we're going to do is get back into doing school inventory of where we are, what are we already doing and doing well, and what do we need to do. They have 3 different levels: bronze, silver, and gold. And what do we need to do to achieve these? So we've just had an initial meeting with this, and we'll be meeting more on that, which will then also lead into reforming a district committee on wellness. They can both be the same on that. So that's basically where we're at, what we have, what we're doing, and what our next steps are for wellness for our students in the district. And hopefully next year we'll be back at this time and give you an update on this. Any questions?
Great, thank you, all of you. As I mentioned, I read through our policy earlier this year and discovered that this was something that we were supposed to be reporting on every year. We haven't in 5 years that I've been here, so we may not need to be, hopefully we won't have any turnover in the next year on our board, and so we won't need to maybe get as in depth, but this is extremely helpful. I also, in my previous job at Children's Action Alliance, was part of a grant in which we scored using a tool at the Rudd Center at Yale, the school wellness policies, to see how comprehensive they were. And I didn't have time to do all 234, however many districts there are in Arizona, but looking at Creighton and Phoenix Union, Creighton's is actually fairly strong. There are some areas where we could be more specific, but we use the ASBA policy. We used the most up-to-date, which Phoenix Union did not. So I let them know that, and supposedly they're going to work on changing that. So I just want to say how proud I am that we have a district that recognizes the link between health and wellness and students' academic performance. They're not going to learn if they don't have school health. Questions, comments? Okay. Thank you. We will move into the adoption of revised number 1, 2013-14 maintenance and operation and unrestricted capital budgets. Mr. Scott Walmart.